Right folks, and welcome back. So today's Sunday. We didn't do any filming yesterday. It was a busy day. We've not been working on the bothy. We've been doing tidying up jobs and it turned into a bit of a disaster, as some people have seen. So the reason I'm not working this weekend on the bothy is I've been painting the wood burner and we've used what's supposed to be Screwfix black heat resistant spray paint, and it's come out the wrong colour. It's come out grey. Now it's now had 4 coats of paint and I'm not happy with it. So rather than fitting the wood burner, I'm going to order some paint online, some nice glossy black stove paint. I'm going to have to respray it and start again, and then we're going to fit the wood burner, so that'll be a couple of weekends time. So in the meantime, we've been tidying up. It's been long awaited. We've needed to tidy up for a long time. It's just one of those wet day jobs, you know, that you put off. So you probably see the Volvo's in the workshop. That's just getting a tidy because that's getting sold. That's actually been lying in Stranraer on a long stay car park for about 6-7 weeks. Bought the Volvo when my mum was ill, and we used it for running up and down the motorway. Good car, but it doesn't like the track up here. We really struggle dodging the potholes, and it needs about 200 tonne of hardcore down that track. So that's going up for sale. Just need to get the rest of the stuff out of it, jump leads and stuff. I'll spin the camera around for you all. So what we've been doing, workshop's been a bit jammed up for quite a few months. There was a pile of tin sheets there. Historically they've sat there about 2 years. This bay here was full of building materials, timber and stuff. It needed to sit there because we were building the bothy, but now the bothy's coming to an end. It's kind of at the stage we want it for this year. We've moved all that timber. We had some big beams that we bought at the start of lockdown, and you know, we're getting ready to build the shed in the field. It's going to be a timber working workshop. Explained it a few times on the channel, but basically the price of timber just now, but they're second hand 20-foot 9x3s. To buy a 9x3 just now is about 76 quid plus VAT. There's 20 there and I paid £6 each cash. I've got about 200 tin sheets in that pile there for the roof, flashings, and then all these damaged rusty tin sheets. 100 lengths of 8x2 lurking that we bought when timber was cheap. So all this probably looks like junk to some people, but to us it's building materials. It's going to build a big shed. So we've just been sorting everything, because when the site's dug out, obviously we need to start making roof trusses. So we've got it in piles that we can drag it out, build the trusses in the yard. Telegraph poles are outside. They just need another coat of creosote and some tar around the bottom. They'll go up. So we've just been sorting everything so we know what we've got, so we know we've got enough materials, so we don't start building a shed and have to spend like 3 or 4 grand on materials. So anyway, what else have we been doing? Well, on Friday we bought a Land Rover Defender. We're getting rid of the Volvo because, as I said, it's not practical. It will tow a trailer, but we're kind of wrecking the Range Rover, pulling the F. Williams trailer all the time. So we bought an old Land Rover Defender. It's a bit of a project. Not sure how it's going to turn out. Went to see it. It's rougher than I thought. It starts and runs sweet as anything. I'll drop a video clip in now of it running when I use it. Starts and runs sweet. It's a 1990 Defender, so it's the first of the 200 TDI, which is the better engine. Engine's good, gearbox is good, clutch and brakes seem okay. It's been laid up for a while. It does need restoration. We're not going to fully restore it at this point. What we're going to do is like a rolling restoration. So rather than bringing it here and having it sent to my mechanics, there's a repair needed on the bulkhead. There's a repair on the front chassis leg, and it definitely needs a timing belt because the garage it's come from said it's not had a timing belt in about 14 years. So I bought the timing belt kit off eBay. That's only 27 quid for them. Parts are fairly cheap, so we're going to get it up and running and working, and we're going to use it off-road initially up here and just go through stuff like lights, electrics, and try and get it to MOT standard. But it's just a vehicle that we needed, something more practical. We don't want to go up the fields and up the tracks in the Range Rover, not with low profile tyres, so it's a runabout for up to here, a runabout to run to Stranraer, tow the trailer, get building materials, do like the fencing jobs, just chuck stuff in the back. So that's what we've been doing. I'll drop you some photos. I did put a short on and I did put a community post on to explain what we'd done. So that's why we're tidying this workshop out, to try and make room to get it in and just run through it and do all the jobs that need done to make it what would be a rolling restoration, as in we'll refurbish it a bit more as we go on. So I've shown you the Land Rover. I'll show it you properly when it gets delivered here. So like I say, we've tidied this shed out. We've not finished tidying it out, but we're sorting like materials for making the battery boxes for the solar system, getting all the tools and all my equipment sorted. Need to do a bit more sweeping up on the floor. We've had about 10 bags of just dust and rubbish. We're going to paint this floor this summer. We're going to paint it like a grey colour because it's going to be the workshop, just to try and stop this dust. Going to get on with that dumper conversion. Hello cat. Psycho's coming. Yeah, so we're going to get on with the dumper conversion, get the Land Rover in here, work on the two of them. That bay over there, I've started tidying out. We're going to make that like our tool bay workshop, just so we're reversing and do work there. And then we had a bit of a disaster yesterday. So sat here with the Massey Ferguson tractor. It hadn't been running for a few months, and we do have problems up here with corrosion, rain, damp. The sea mist and the sea air is salty and wrecks everything. And that tractor, it seems to get into badly. It seized the clutch 3 years ago and had to go away and get fixed. And it was sat here and it wouldn't start. We thought it was the battery, tried to jump it, and the engine had actually stuck. So what I did is what I've done 100 times before. I stuck it in reverse. I pulled the stopper out, engine was turned off, it was in gear, and I pushed it with the digger. Gave it a push, wouldn't move, back wheels were skidding, so they skidded along the ground. So I put the blade down and I gave it another push. Engine fired up, went straight through the roller shutter door, bent the roller shutter door, straight up the field. I've got a video clip I'll put in. I was running after it, it went straight through that fence, demolished the fence, climbed that hill, started wheel spinning, was climbing over the hill, and I managed to pull the stop out. And then we dragged it back into the yard, had to fix the fence, had to straighten the roller shutter door with a sledgehammer, and there it lies. So going to get the big jump leads on it probably next weekend and muck around and start it and get it back in here. But these things happen. I've had it happen before actually, but not with CCTV filming me and not with people watching. But yeah, basically gave it a dump with the digger. The stop must have jumped in, and she fired up, within seconds, rev straight up and away up the field. So if anybody wants to laugh, I'll drop that clip in now. So that's why the tractor's lying there. You'll see the wheel ruts straight up that hill. Luckily that embankment was there. I don't know how it went straight back in a straight line without wrecking anything. It tipped that digger bucket up. It missed that straining post, missed the trailer. It just went in a straight line. This here is where the exhaust hit. So I don't know how it did that because it's at a bit of an angle. The cab went straight under and the exhaust sticks up 2 inches taller. So it whacked off the door. And that's the story of that. So that's about it for this week. It's just a ramble and just explaining what we're doing, what we've been up to, the projects that are coming up. So, you know, the next project is the Land Rover. We're not going to stop working everything else for it, but it's going to be a wet day project, and just basically going through stuff like the lights, brakes, brake pipes, and just getting it so we can get an MOT on it. Managed to get it insured last night. I was anticipating it would be cheap to insure, like that Volvo's 290 quid, Range Rover Sport costs us 260 here. We are in a cheap postcode area for insurance. So the first quote for the Land Rover at 33 years old, well, the vehicle's 33 years old, I'm 42, and the first quote was £1,550, even with my no claims bonus transferred across from the Volvo. The next quote came off a company called Adrian Flux that I've spoke to before. They were 500, so then I put a post on one of the Land Rover groups on Facebook, and I found a company in Lancaster, did an online quote, and they came out at £100 and 21p, fully comprehensive, with a guaranteed value on the vehicle if it gets stolen, and both me and Heather, name drivers, the ability to tow a trailer, all that sort of stuff, social, domestic and pleasure, and my own business. So £100 and 21p. So it shows it takes, well, it's worth spending 2-3 hours shopping around, not taking the first quote, asking about. I hate Facebook, but Facebook is really good for some things. You'll have 100 opinions, and all those opinions will be different, but you get the information you need. So I suppose social media is a good thing. So if you're not done already, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, drop us a wee comment. Oh, and by the way, we need a name for the Land Rover. So it's a 1990 200 TDI, it's not a station wagon, it's a hard top, long wheelbase. It's a two-seater, and it's in white. It's in white at the moment. Got a few ideas of changing the colour. That would be in the future. So if anybody knows what colour they think we ought to paint it, drop it in the comments. Anybody thinks of a name? We're not calling it Kermit, because there's a guy doing a Land Rover up just now on YouTube called Maximus Iron Thumper. His Land Rover is called Kermit, so we can't use that name because it'll confuse YouTube. But anybody got any names for the Land Rover, and what colour we should paint it? And if anybody knows anywhere where we can get cheap parts, we're going to need brake pipes, we're going to need lights, maybe need part of a wiring loom to sort everything out, drop it in the comments below. YouTube doesn't like you putting links to like listings on eBay and stuff, but if you just write the name of the company or where we can find it, be much appreciated, folks. Thank you.